If The Simpsons has taught us anything, it's that yellow people can do anything.
I'm king of the world! Woohoo!
They can survive nuclear meltdowns, predict the future, and apparently star in more video games than Sonic, but with less running and more screaming. Today, we're diving deep into every Simpsons video game ever made. The forgotten ones, the beloved ones, and the ones that probably should have been buried under the Quickie Mart like expired hot dogs. The Simpsons arcade game kicks off the franchise by having the entire family rampage through Springfield, committing what can only be described as colorful, family-friendly war crimes. Maggie swallows a diamond, and instead of calling the police, or, a doctor, the Simpsons instantly decide to punch half the town in the face. Homer fights like a man powered entirely by rage and cholesterol. Marge swings her vacuum like she's cleaning up the souls of her enemies. Bart weaponizes his skateboard like a delinquent ninja. And Lisa uses her jump rope in ways the manufacturers definitely did not intend. You beat up clowns, ninjas, random businessmen, basically anyone unlucky enough to be within punching distance. Konami designed this thing to eat quarters like Homer eats donuts. And the bosses are so weird, you start wondering if the developers were okay. Marge's bunny ear sprite glitch makes her look like she escaped from a radioactive Easter special. The bear suit enemy haunts children to this day. And somehow every stage feels like a fever dream from someone who fell asleep watching Season 2 on Fast Forward. It's pure chaos, pure Simpsons. And honestly, still one of the best excuses to legally assault a circus. Bart vs. the Space Mutants is the game where aliens invade Springfield and Bart, an unsupervised 10-year-old with a slingshot, becomes humanity's only line of defense. And by defense, I mean he's running around town committing acts that absolutely qualify as crimes in at least 37 states. The aliens' master plan revolves around collecting purple objects because apparently they're allergic to good color palettes. So Bart has to destroy, hide, paint over, and vandalize literally anything purple in Springfield. It's a platformer so difficult it feels like the Space Mutants won before you even press start. Bart jumps with the grace of a shopping trolley. Half the NPCs don't believe him, and the X-ray glasses are so unreliable, you might as well use them to look for common sense. Every level demands puzzle logic no child in 1991 possessed, which is why beating Stage 1 made kids feel like they'd solved world hunger. And yet, the game is iconic. Not because it played well, but because it perfectly captured Bart's energy. Chaotic, destructive, and somehow the only one taking an alien invasion seriously. Bart vs. the World sends Bart on a global adventure that feels less like a video game and more like Mr. Burns trying to speedrun international crime. After winning a crusty contest that's so obviously rigged it might as well have been run by Lyle Lanley, Bart discovers the entire competition is a trap set by Mr. Burns and his suspiciously large worldwide family tree. Apparently every country has its own Burns cousin waiting to ruin Bart's day, like a yellow-skinned Illuminati. Bart travels to China, the Arctic, Egypt, and Hollywood, fighting ninjas, dodging traps, solving puzzles, and collecting postcards like a delinquent tourist with a death wish. Half the secrets are hidden so well you'd need a psychic to find them, and some platforming sections are harder than explaining the Simpsons family tree. It's peak early 90s chaos. But if you think the world getting attacked by Burns' relatives is weird, wait until Bart returns home and finds out his own house has turned into a nightmare. Bart's House of Weirdness takes the simple premise of Bart is grounded and escalates it into a full-blown fever dream where his own house becomes a paranormal death trap, although most of the game is spent outside the Simpsons house. Bart wanders through the Simpson home as it mutates into a haunted funhouse filled with aliens, monsters, and a giant Maggie who looks like she's ready to eat the player's soul. Also, the game likes to throw this in your face a lot. Bart vs. the Juggernauts throws Bart onto a national TV show that is basically American Gladiators, if the producers actively wanted a child to get hospitalized. Bart competes in a series of violent game show events where adults in spandex try to body slam him into the afterlife.
Hey, cool, I'm dead.
And somehow, the entire viewing audience is just cool with it. Every challenge feels like a lawsuit waiting to happen, which works great for Springfield's best lawyer, Lionel Hutz.
Can you imagine a world without lawyers?
Bart goes on to fight juggernauts. And obviously a few women because it's the 90s. The juggernauts themselves look like rejected wrestling characters, each one more aggressive than the last, and Bart's job is simply to survive while occasionally doing something vaguely athletic. It's chaotic and exactly the kind of show Homer would accidentally sign Bart up for after mixing up the mail. Krusty's Funhouse is the game where Krusty the Clown casually commits industrial-scale rodent murder, and everyone treats it like a charming family activity. The premise is simple. Krusty's Funhouse is infested with rats, so instead of calling an exterminator like a normal person, he forces the player to build elaborate death mazes to funnel these poor rodents straight into lethal devices operated by Homer, Bart, and occasionally other Springfield citizens who really shouldn't be trusted with sharp objects. And to be honest, it's exactly what I picture Krusty doing in his free time. Bartman Meets Radioactive Man is the moment Bart decides that fighting aliens and participating in gladiator combat just isn't enough danger for one childhood. So after Fallout Boy recruits him, he puts on a cape and becomes Bartman, Springfield's smallest, most underfunded superhero.
I'm Bartman.
Bartman goes on to stop villains who look like they were pulled from the bargain bin of a comic book shop. He goes up against Radioactive Man's rogues gallery like Dr. Crab, who is literally just a man with crab hands, Lava Man who somehow operates indoors, and the Swamp Hag, who feels like she wandered in from a completely different franchise. Bart fights through comic-themed levels, filled with enemies who have absolutely no reason to hate a 10-year-old this much. But unfortunately, there is no references or characters from the show included into this game, which makes it a lot harder to redo every mission, because of how damn difficult the game is. Bart's Nightmare begins with Bart falling asleep on his homework, which is already terrifying enough. But instead of dreaming about failing a spelling test, he plunges into a psychedelic fever dream. The goal is to find pages of his homework, scattered across a dream world that makes zero sense. And every page sends Bart into a different world. One moment Bart is Godzilla stomping through Springfield. The next, he's flying through the bloodstream like a lost vitamin tablet. And before you can process any of it, he's trapped in an itchy and scratchy cartoon, trying not to get chopped into confetti. The streets are filled with dancing mailboxes and floating Jebediah Springfield heads. Also, every time you jump, the game does this sound effect. Weird, I know. The game ends with Bart getting an A+ on his assignment, and I'm pretty sure the Marge Moth level helped out a lot. Virtual Bart is the game where Bart hops into a virtual reality machine and is immediately launched into a collection of simulations. Each level is a random scenario with absolutely no connection to anything else. Bart turns into a baby crawling through household hazards, a pig escaping a slaughterhouse, a dinosaur rampaging through Springfield, a post-apocalyptic road warrior, and of course the legendary tomato-throwing level where Bart pelts his classmates with fruit in what might be the most cathartic moment of his entire life. The whole thing feels like someone handed a bunch of writers the instruction, make Bart suffer creatively, and they went feral. The difficulty fluctuates between easy field trip and controller snapping rage spiral, sometimes within the same level. With the start of the 21st century, we get the Simpsons bowling, where you pick from classic Springfield characters like Homer, Marge, Lisa, Bart, and even Mr. Burns, and each one, well, bowls. This obviously wasn't the best Simpsons game. Well, who am I kidding? It was awful. But this game marks the end to saga of arcade games and Nintendo's generational domination of the Simpsons games, and decides to hop over to the consoles, specifically PlayStation, to begin the next era of Simpsons gaming, most known for its great graphics.
All right, Snake, make us proud.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bye!
The Simpsons Wrestling is universally known as the best Simpsons game. Oh, wait. I mean the worst Simpsons game ever made. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at the graphics.
And no court on earth will convict me. I'm far too rich.
The only thing this game has going for it is that it makes the Simpsons bowling look like a great game.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I can't blame it too much as it was developed for the PS1, but come on, it's just a joke. The Simpsons, Night of the Living Treehouse of Horror takes you back to the Game Boy, but now with color. Get it because it released on the Game Boy Color. Okay, anyway, the game takes the annual Halloween chaos of the show and shrinks it down into a Game Boy anthology where every member of the Simpson family gets dragged through their own tiny pocket-sized nightmare. It's basically a collection of mini horror stories stitched together. One level has Homer fighting off zombies, Marge battles living dolls, and Maggie's level is so weird it feels like the developers forgot babies aren't supposed to fight supernatural forces alone.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Overall, the game is really fun, and honestly, it's a breath of fresh air compared to the previous two games. The Simpsons Road Rage is the game where Mr. Burns buys the entire transit system, jacks up prices, and everyone in town reacts by turning their personal cars into Ubers. You pick up citizens, fling them across town, crash into everything that casts a shadow, and somehow get paid for it. It's a blatant copy of Crazy Taxi. So blatant that Sega sued almost instantly.
Mr. Hutz, do you know you're not wearing any pants?
What?
This game obviously wasn't the best, but it had a charm to it that made it actually fun to play. And because of that fact, it spawned the holy grail of Simpsons games. But before that game, we first have to talk about the next one, the one that haunts us all. The Simpsons Skateboarding is Springfield's attempt at a Tony Hawk clone, except instead of a good game, you get Homer wobbling around town and Bart skating with the stiffness of a cardboard cutout. Every character has special moves, but most of them look like they were animated 5 minutes before the deadline. You get to skate around various different iconic places, but you don't get to enjoy most of it because you don't want to look at the screen. Now, I know I complain a lot about graphics, but
Oh my God!
this obviously is not one of my favorite games, and I think most people would agree with me. The Simpsons Hit and Run was released in 2003 and is known as the crown jewel of the franchise. The game is so good that fans still ask for a remaster every 15 minutes like it's Oxygen. Hit and Run basically turns Springfield into a kid-friendly GTA where you play through a conspiracy involving killer robot wasps, mysterious black sedans, Buzz Cola turning citizens into zombies, and Kang and Kodos lounging around like interdimensional pranksters. The main story of the game is that mysterious black vans and wasp cameras start appearing around town and nobody knows why. Bart goes on to help Professor Frink build the Truckosaurus, and after completing it, Bart gets abducted by aliens. The Simpsons family goes crazy, and Lisa tries everything to find Bart. After going on countless wild goose chases, she locates Bart, but he is talking gibberish. Next up is Marge, and she tries to solve why Bart is talking in code, and she finds out that it is due to the Buzz Cola drinks. Level 5 includes Apu, who wants to redeem himself for selling the tainted cola, so he tracks down the source, which leads to the discovery of Kang and Kodos, who wants to turn Springfield citizens into zombies for their prank show. Foolish Earthlings. Bart tries to stop the aliens from putting the cola into Springfield's water supply, but he is too late. In the final level, the entire town is Halloween-themed, and Homer tries to stop the aliens by driving nuclear waste barrels into the aliens' UFO, which is located at the school. After a few tries, Homer is successful, and the ship comes crashing down. This game is filled with so many Easter eggs, and it just truly is a love letter to the fans, and that's also why I spent so much time explaining the plot of the game. It also just surprises me how good this game was compared to the previous game, The Simpsons Skateboarding. Overall, it's just an amazing game and truly the best Simpsons game so far. Talk about the Simpsons game.
At least our show was a success.
Why did we go to Earth Heaven when we died?
Well, at least we don't have to sit through the stupid video game credits. No!
The Simpsons game is the moment the franchise lost its charm. It's a very self-aware story where the Simpsons discover they actually are video game characters. Each family member gets their own ridiculous powers, and every level is a parody fever dream. The only real upside in this game is that the humor is actually good, because the actual Simpsons writers handled the script. The whole adventure ends with the Simpsons meeting Matt groaning, God, and basically the entire upper management of the universe. This game marks the spot where EA took over the Simpsons gaming license and did absolutely nothing with it. The Simpsons, Tapped Out is the only other game that EA made while they had the license to The Simpsons. The game begins with Homer doing what Homer does best, pressing the wrong button at work and immediately causing a citywide catastrophe. In this case, he blows up the entire town of Springfield in a nuclear explosion. Homer is then tasked with rebuilding Springfield from scratch. The game actually does an amazing job of keeping you interested in playing. After you completed the main story of the game, you unlock events which either spanned across a 2-week period or a 1-month-long period, with daily rewards and new stories. And that is what kept the game going for 12 years, but it unfortunately shut down in January of 2025. Rest in peace. After Tapped Out ended, there were no new Simpsons games until Epic Games decided to step in, presenting us with a whole mini-season in Fortnite themed around The Simpsons. Although it was very short-lived as the season started and ended in November of 2025, it was still an amazing experience to play, as the Simpsons family in a whole new genre of gaming that they have never been seen in before. There's not much more to say about this except thank you, Epic Games. And with that, I have covered every major game that The Simpsons have been a part of. I have obviously left out a few games for the simple reason that they were just really insignificant. But if you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing if you'd like to see more Simpsons content, as well as liking the video.